Listen, there's no question about the fact that these DB Journey bags look really slick. So I worked with them to pick my ultimate DB Journey travel setup, and here is what I went with. The Ramverk Pro Carry On and then the Ramverk Pro 26. And I've got to say this, I've used this more than this at this point, and I really like this. 26 liters feels really good. Their camera cube inside, that is a separate accessory. I've got it all decked out. I'm gonna show you this, and we're gonna pack this out for carry-on travel, how I do it. Okay, let's start by talking about this carry-on, all right? It is a polycarbonate shell, like we're used to in a lot of things. It does have a 6063 aluminum frame, which is nice. Where things are coming together is a nice aluminum frame. A lot of polycarbonate shell luggage doesn't have more than just a tiny little bit of metal or something there. Also, look at these. Look at these. Look at this. This looks and feels great. What an interesting little, I mean, I haven't seen this before. I don't know if this is a standard. Obviously, it's a TSA approved lock, but nice little pump and click. I mean, that click is great. That feels great. Now, this separates into two equal size compartments here. The first thing I noticed when I played with this bag was the niceness of this. I actually like this. This feels good. It feels like a polyester, feels like a recycled polyester kind of, you know, I love things with a little more maybe texture, but the truth is that this has a longevity that you're stoked for. When you're spending, you know, over $500 on a piece of luggage, you could easily go spend $90 at Amazon and get something that might have a broken wheel or something in the middle of transit in Peru, which can really screw you over, because where are you gonna go get a replacement? So spending a little more on something that's gonna last you a lot longer makes a lot of sense when you're traveling. And this material is the kind of material that's not gonna absorb a bunch of dirt and oil over time. You've got two equal size compartments, okay? On this one here, you do have place for your laptop or your, so on this side, you've got a nice little spot that if I, you know, zip that up like that, for example, this nice little Velcro guy that comes right over, keeping keeping secure the you could use a laptop. You could put a laptop in here, but then I gotta like open this up to get to my laptop, which is not that big of a deal because this is everything's zipped up. Nothing's gonna fall out. But you could also put in your papers, your business papers, man. On this side, you don't have anything behind you here. It's just, this is the biggest thing. So I always like to start packing my bulky clothes into here. But before I even start packing, listen, we gotta talk about something. Footwear. I think actually one of the most important things about packing for a trip ends up being footwear for me. I'm constantly looking for shoes and footwear that I can do multiple things with. For example, these Earth Runners. These are my hiking shoes. I mean, unless I'm going someplace cold, right? But this is my hiking shoe and oftentimes my workout and run shoe if I'm not just barefoot. Now, if you know me, you know that I'm a minimalist shoe enthusiast. I think it's really important that we have a flat, not raised heel, that we have some flexibility. I want a wide toe box, and I want something that I can just wear whenever, like in every environment, okay? So I tend to have this in the bag and one pair of shoes that I'm wearing. If I'm gonna be going to play, if there's a chance of me playing pickleball, then I'm gonna go with these, the Flux. If there's probably not any pickleball, I'm gonna probably wear these because these risals are, I don't know, I just feel like it's like this weird mix of casual but elevated. But I gotta say that my red Bilenkas are the ones that every time I put them on, I'm like, I love this. It's kind of fun. It's like, hey, what's up? I'm creative director guy. Whatever I'm doing there, that's the shoe that I'm wearing in transit everywhere, and then everything, I'm just throwing these in there, like so. There we go. Then we've got our shirts, okay? I carry one button-up shirt. This one's from Rourke. It's really nice because it's very thin and lightweight. I can hike in it. I can do beach day in it. It feels very casual, but I can also kind of like, hey, like with the leather shoes, I could look a little bit like a little dressed up almost. A button-up that can do that means I only have to bring one. I typically bring only 3 t-shirts. This one's X-Cotton from Western Rise. It's a mix of like cotton and poly, and I love the way this fits me. I have a merino from Proof that I can wear again and again and again. Both of those I can wear again and again and again. And then my Cedon shirt, which just is it's like a nice mix of, I can wear it out casually or I can do sort of athletic stuff in it. Again, if there's any chance of pickleball. Then I have 2 long sleeve shirts. One of them is my sleeping shirt. It's from Free Fly. It's bamboo. It's really lightweight. One of them is from Western Rise. It's merino. It's an extra layer. Okay, so this plus a little sweater plus a little windbreaker, and I'm actually really warm. So I'll probably just stack and throw all of these on one little compartment right here because I like to have a little bit of pressure from this top holding it down so it's not moving around. Okay, so then our functional layers. Thin merino sweater from Aviator. Lightweight, almost waterproof external shell that folds up into nothing from Florence. This is, and I just like I like the feel of this one a lot, but it folds up into nothing. And then the Transit Overshirt from Western Rise, which just kind of churches it up a little bit. And it's a surprisingly like temperature regulating sort of layer. I dig it a lot. Depending on where I'm traveling, one of these will probably go into my daily carry bag. For bottoms, I gotta have typically 1 to 2 pair of pants that I bring that I almost never pull out. I'll bring an extra pair of Western Rise Evolution. I'll typically be wearing one of these when I'm in transit. I'll probably won't take these off the entire time. 1 Western Rise Evolution for me. If you find the one that fits you right, now they have classic fit and like regular, which is a little slimmer. It's just my favorite travel pant. You can spill on it and stuff just falls right off. You don't have to launder it. It's like a 5-pocket jean. I basically am always wearing the black. They also make it in this similar color, but this is from Lives In, which I really dig as well. For some reason, that one feels soft and almost like a lounge pant. Then I got a pair of shorts, like a workout short. This one is from Cedon as well. Very thin and lightweight, but I can use it swimming. I can use it for pickleball. Then the only other thing I might need is undies and socks. Socks, I bring like a little, sometimes I'll bring a sock, but again, if I'm doing outdoorsy type stuff, everything sort of shifts. Undies, I do wear on travel days at least. I would like to just put these someplace where they're out of the way because I don't use them very much. So these little meshies over here are nice for that. Now what am I packing into here? This is where I could throw in a jacket if I'm going to someplace actually cold. This is where I can put in some more tech and camera gear if I'm on an actual filming trip. This is where I have stuff that I can just like have room for bringing things home. The truth is, with this stuff over here, I'm well set up for several days. When I travel just myself for a few days, I tend to bring an extra t-shirt. And that's it. Maybe throw in that Transit Overshirt if it might get cold in the evening time. Maybe that Aviator sweater as well. Sleeping naked. I love traveling with as little as possible. But everything that I need, it just feels good. One of the tricks for that has just been me realizing I can wear the same stuff again and again, as long as it's not stinking, which merino helps with that. You know, things that don't stain, things that don't get wrinkled help with that. I just love it. I love the feeling of being out and being gone, being away from all my stuff, being away from everything. Just having like my phone in my pocket and a notebook, my camera and stuff. Everything is one little bag. I love that. I could get what I needed from this in this bag and just travel with this. In fact, that's what I did recently. But every once in a while, you need a little more stuff. So, by the way, love the spinner. Love the spinner. If you haven't seen my Sterling Pacific reviews, I talk extensively on 4-wheel versus 2 in a recent one. These are Hinomoto wheels, which are industry standard, like best. Okay, you can find a lot of companies at the $100, $200 range not using this, but a lot of companies in the $500 plus are using these Hinomoto wheels. Then you've got a nice little handle right here, which is surprisingly like textural. Surprisingly brandied feel. This is one of those things where DB Journey really figured out like, let's make it feel nice. It's got just the right amount of padding with this webbing, and you have a triangular handle here. You see that? Kind of triangular. That's sort of interesting. Another one of those branded sort of feeling things where it's just unique. It's unique. This is plasticky kind of feeling, but it feels really solid. And then you've got, I don't know if you could see the shape of this thing itself. It's sort of rounded on the outside, straight on these edges here. And that feels really secure. You also potentially have the ability to have, like, maybe clip-on little accessories or something like that. In fact, they make a travel organizer designed just for this that you can clip on to the outside of this roller bag. Again, that 6063 aluminum. This is probably maybe it's thicker on the hinge. Might be the same kind of thing. And on the bottom here, you're looking at where those wheels go in and this kind of reinforced wheel housings. I have to say how much I actually love the look of this thing. This is a very unique looking piece of luggage, and it feels pretty cool. It's like, yeah, we are going now. We don't know when we return. I'm sure it will be fine. I have what I need. I also love this, the look of this guy. Okay, let me show you how I have this packed out. First of all, on the side, I threw in my Peak Design tripod, which is amazing. They sent this to me a long time ago. It's quite spendy, but I use it all the time. And on this side, I'm carrying a huge water bottle. This one was sent to me recently, Bobber, and it's like a thermos. Then notice my little Peak Design capture clip right here. This is kind of nice to have when I'm in the field. On the top of the bag, you have this big bucket, and I love it, okay? It's just one thing that everything I need access to regularly goes into. I have some mini notebooks. I have a couple different AirPods. I have my Anchor power charger, which I'll link to below, and my SanDisk hard drive for editing. I also have some extra stuff in here, like a wallet that I just keep some cash in and maybe some extra cards. I'll link to this below from Distill Union. I actually really love just the bucket style of this. Throw everything in it. I do have a round the corner kind of zipper I got to do here, okay? Around the corner zipper. You just got to be a little patient with it. You pull it out and you don't have any problems. If you try to go with it, you can get like stuck on something. Just pull it out. Very simple handle here. It does not stick up off the top of the bag like in an annoying way at all. Then inside the bag, you can see this thing is pretty packed out. It's got a nice rounded bullet style shape. I can get all the way around these water sealed zips. And inside I've got a few things going on here. First of all, the laptop compartment, zippered. Okay, you've got this little flap, which sometimes gets in my way. I tend to leave this open, and I tend not to want it around, but sometimes my laptop gets like hung up on it like this when I'm pulling it out, so I'm still trying to figure out how to pull that. But this is on the front of the bag, which is a little bit different than normal. I haven't had any issues with it. I actually kind of dig it because it gives everything here. No zippers on the back somewhere. Just this is my big beaver paddle. I do have two meshies right here. Inside of here, I've got some snacks and my battery with my little dongle for my MacBook. I'll link to both of these below. I originally was storing my power charger here and then this stuff down here. I just found that using the top pocket here was easier to get in and out of. And I can't really put anything here because I'm using their camera cube. Now, the camera cube does have a removable top. This whole thing zippers off, but I like to leave it together because it adds quite a bit of structure and padding. This is quite stiff and hard, and I like that. I'm just using my like little run and gun content creator kit right here. I would typically probably have these thrown into this part of the bag, but when I'm in actual transit and storage mode, these are two bits for my Insta360 X3, my 3D camera, which I use instead of drones. I've got my DJI mics and a little light, and then I can actually fit my camera, my EOS R6. Right here's my 24 to 105, which is what if I'm just taking one, I tend to take this. I unplug everything, and then I can actually fit it right in here. It's perfect. This is actually, the bummer is I've got to open up this, boom, and then open up this, and then I'm getting to my camera. But because of that Peak camera cube, when I'm in actual filming mode, I can keep it on the outside of the bag. A couple batteries and a couple like nice little, they're segmented this way, right? I've got my DJI little windscreens in there. This is actually kind of nice. Nothing over here because my camera body is right up against that. Also notice my camera body is vertical here, or sorry, whatever, on the side, so I can reach in and grab it like this, and it fits, as does my X3 and my Lite and my DJI. So it is, I love the depth on this 26 liter bag. Then my Focal Baptiste headphones, which I live in. This takes up so much space, I actually have to throw it kind of underneath this sack. You give it a little tuck, a little under tuck, and throw that underneath, and it ends up working fine. I've still got space on top of here if I need to throw in some layers and jacketing or some snacks or something like that. The laptop does have this nice little, see there, I'm getting hung up on it. It does have this nice little like pull tab thing. Can you see this? Again, this thing just getting in my way. Let's see if I can just tuck it in. But you have this little pull tab to pull out your laptop, which is nice, though I've never needed it. Now, in use, one thing I've noticed is we do have these little like clips over here, but this one comes out regularly. You want to put some tension on there, not so much that it makes it hard to zip. By the way, one is on this side and one is on this side. These are definitely some custom feeling hardware. It's very interesting. And they have the same thing going on right here, which enables their hookup system, where you can attach this bag to larger roller bags to get the weight off your shoulders and onto those wheels. Okay, here it is with that thing on. Let me go in the light a little bit more. Why you come back up, bro? 26 liters just feels good, okay? It just feels, sometimes I love having a smaller bag, but when I'm in transit, when I'm traveling, I actually do like the extra space of 26 liters. I can travel just my stuff, everything I need with only a 26 liter bag. And it's nice to be able to just have my tech and everyday items here. Where are you going? One thing to note here is the neoprene sort of foamy bits on the back here feel really good. There's not a ton of structure and breathability back here. There's not like a bunch of little rivets or waffles or things like that in here, but it does feel good when you throw it on. You're gonna feel that up on either side of your spine, that meaty part of your back, and that feels good. And you don't feel the like this rubbery hypalon up against your skin very much. That seems to be pulled away from your back a little bit from that foamy padded part. Again with the custom machinery, right? This feels good. This little sternum strap thing is not standard. It's not what you're used to. I don't think they custom developed this, but it's a little bit nicer than it needs to be. Water bottle compartment does have a zip awayableness, okay? Which is kind of nice. You see these like ribbles, like right here, these ruffles to this? I never liked that kind of thing. It always feels visually like I don't dig it. But the truth is, every time I've been in transit with this thing, it's like this. It's holding a big ass water bottle pocket, which I am very stoked about. You also have accessory straps on these sides. So you can strap in poles or the tripod or something like that on this side if you're not carrying a water bottle. Nice little minimal branding throughout. They have this like Scandinavian aesthetic that I actually dig. This material itself, this Hypalon, it's thin. It's not as dense and thick and heavy as things I've felt before, which I prefer. It also is super durable. Everything's got water sealed zippers on it, and there's a nice little kind of like turtle shelly vibe. Dirt just comes right off of this, by the way. You do have these nice little strap gathers that are built in here, this elastic nubbins, which is a thoughtful design, as is this protection here on the outside. By the way, they do have a full-size camera cube that can go inside this 26 Pro bag. And on the front here, you do have, on the beaver paddle, a bunch more protection. These feel decent. I didn't comment on this in there, but they're just solid. I don't have any problems with these. The Velcro feels really secure and solid without it taking up a bunch of bulk in the actual padding itself, right? This all feels good. This feels absolutely like I would count on this. If I was packing this thing into this bag, I would remove this front probably, even though this adds quite a bit of protection. All right, listen, here's a little thought for the Ramble. The trap of life is the acceleration of luxury. My friend Tom said that, and my friend Tom, who makes Studio Neat products, okay? I will link to these below. These are my favorite mini notebooks. The trap of life is the acceleration of luxury, okay? Think about this for a second. I think it's brilliant. I think it describes a lot of my life. It describes, by the way, every company that's out there. Right now, Apple is figuring out how to get into services more and more and more because they're not growing so much on the hardware side of things. They have to keep growing. Eric Weinstein calls it an embedded growth obligation, right? Companies have to keep growing. And I wonder if we do the same thing with our quality of life, our sense of luxury. And I wonder how easily it is for us to just add more things to our life as a way of you get that dopamine high and then it's like slowly fades over time. You have to get something new and it slowly fades over time. This kind of like shop therapy, you know, when you're going shopping as a form of therapy to get that little dopamine hit. Luxury acceleration, I think, is quite insidious. I think it is the root of a lot of dissatisfaction and depression and anxiety and just like general mental unwellness, when with a little shift, we could be very satisfied. One of the most beneficial practices for mental health wellness, according to the research, was appreciation or gratitude journaling. Before you go to bed, just have a little notebook by the bed that's just 3 to 5 things that you're appreciative of. And the trick to this is you can't fake it. You can't be, I appreciate this because you're supposed to. This is only for you. Okay? This is only for you. I remember the first time I started doing this, it was Mike Birbiglia is a comedian that I love, and he had a movie that had just come out. I think it was called Don't Think Twice. And I had watched it the night before, and I was looking inside myself for an honest feeling of appreciation. Honestly, like honest gratitude. And it was like, well, I'm glad that movie got made. I was honestly appreciative of it. Finding things that you honestly feel the feeling of gratitude for and making note of them. First thing in the morning, last thing at night, before you get to work. This is maybe one of the best ways to stop that acceleration of luxury, that insatiable appetite for more success, more growth, more stuff. Think about it. What if the thing that you want is you already have? What if the thing you want you already have? I think that's the most interesting spiritual concept in the world. St. Francis was asked, we keep looking for God, like how do we find God? And St. Francis said, the thing that's looking is the one you're looking for. This is a Franciscan friar. I mean, we get the name Franciscan from St. Francis. St. Francis was a baller, okay? Deeply, deeply mystic Christian. Very naturalistic in his way. Creation was like a canon of scripture for this guy. The thing that is looking is what you're seeking. The part in you that is looking is what you're seeking for. That is when it comes to what I've experienced of a spiritual pursuit. John Vervaeke says we're in a meaning crisis. One of the simplest tricks I've seen to date to find the meaning you already have in your life is simply to like have a little thing like this by the bed and write down 3 things every night before you go to sleep that's like, oh, I'm glad for this, I'm glad for this, I'm glad for this. And don't take a shape you think you're supposed to take. Don't put don't like go like I'm supposed to be glad for my kid. If you're not glad for your kid, be glad for whatever. Find something you're honestly glad for. I'm glad for, you know, Hape and my personal trainer, Bert, Grounded Strength, Austin. Check him out. The acceleration of luxury is absolutely a trap in modern life. Think about it. And maybe just pump the brakes. And in its stead, you know, anytime you create a void like that, like let's fill it with something. Let's fill it with a little gratitude. Because maybe the stuff you have is so much more nourishing than you're letting it be. Take that into consideration. Or get yourself a new travel setup from DB Journey, who used to be called Douchebags. I have an old version of this bag. The updates here, little custom hardware, feels kind of nice. The bones are still the same. Definitely see improvement on that camera insert. Little things like this size of this pocket are actually the same, and I dig it. It was good from the start. These have warranties. They have warranties. They have a membership program that gets your warranty to be even longer. Okay, so you might want to look into that. The warranties are like 20 years. That's what they consider the life of the product, which is really good. if you have a buckle or a zipper or something go off, they'll replace it, it seems like. Check it out. Links below, please, links below, support the channel. This is how I put food on the table for my children. Also check out matterful.co/travelglad. It's where I'm collecting all of my tips and tricks about travel and putting them into a free little email series for you there. So check that out. Other than that, be yourself. Everyone else is taken. Bye.